Hello, friends, and welcome to National Park Mysteries, Episode 5, featuring 10 more unsolved National Park disappearances. As we continue this series, we would like to say that with this episode, we reach our 50-case milestone. We're proud of this accomplishment and would like to thank everyone who continues to listen in. While 50 is not a large number considering the amount of missing cases that exist, we like to hope that boosting the signal and raising the awareness of these cases brings some grieving family one step nearer to having closure. If these videos help resolve just one case, then that's more than worth the effort we've put in. With that said, let's get started. Number 10. Ronald Scott Gray. On September 23, 2008, 62-year-old Ronald Scott Gray, a U.S. Marine Corps veteran and a retired Massachusetts State Police captain, went missing during an elk hunting trip in the Nez Perce National Forest, Idaho. Ronald's friend, whom he was hunting with, had to leave, and Ronald decided that he would stay in the woods and hunt on his own for a few more days. Ronald was supposed to meet up with friends in the Selway area of the Nez Perce National Forest that day, but he never arrived. Ronald was reported missing on September 26, 2008, and was last known to be hunting in the Bitterroot Selway area from a remote camp on Mirror Lake Ridge in the Nez Perce National Forest. There have been unconfirmed reports of a radio transmission in which Ronald mentions that he injured his knee and was trying to get back to camp. Ronald never made it back to camp. Ronald was in good health at the time of his disappearance. He had visited the area twice before and was somewhat familiar with the terrain. He apparently visited the supply cache before he vanished. An extensive search of the forest turned up no sign of him, and to this day, he remains missing. Number 9. Gordon Sago. On August 14, 2016, 50-year-old Gordon Sago was last seen when he ventured ahead of his two friends while running on Mount Cheam Trail near Chilliwack, Canada. Gordon was an experienced trail runner and was said to be in very peak athletic shape at the time of his disappearance. It's believed Gordon disappeared on or near Baby Monday Peak in the Cheam mountain range in Canada. Gordon was familiar with the area and knew the terrain well. He had a cell phone with him at the time of his disappearance, but there was no cell phone reception in the area where he was hiking. Search teams from Chilliwack, Lions Bay, and Surrey all contributed to searching the area. The search also involved ground teams, helicopters, drones, and police dogs, but no trace of Gordon was ever found, and he remains missing. Number 8. Roger Sawyer. 67-year-old Roger Sawyer was last seen at a remote campground in the Flamingo area at Everglades National Park in Monroe County, Florida, on March 5, 2011. Roger is from Oregon and had taken a cross-country trip with his family in a motorhome. Some of Roger's relatives went to the visitor center, leaving Roger and his wife behind. Roger and his wife were in different areas of the campground at the time he went missing. He was last seen at the beach at approximately 6 p.m. By 8:30 p.m., everyone had returned to the mobile home except Roger, and his loved ones alerted authorities. An extensive search of the area turned up no indication of Roger's whereabouts, and it isn't clear whether he became lost or something else caused his disappearance. His family describes him as an experienced outdoorsman. Nearly 9 years have passed, and Roger remains among the missing. Number 7. James Taylor Wall. This case has very limited information, but what we do know is that 30-year-old James Taylor Wall was last seen on January 25, 2015, at his residence on County Road 2 in Double Springs, Alabama. James may have been involved in a serious physical altercation around the time of his disappearance, but again, the information regarding the case is very limited. There were reports that said he may have been sighted in the Bankhead National Forest in the vicinity of Houston, Alabama. There is no search and rescue information available, and James has never been seen or heard from again. Number 6. Randall Young. 51-year-old Randall Young was last seen in San Luis Obispo County, California, on April 28, 2010. He left for a camping trip at Plaskett Creek Campground in the Los Padres National Forest and was expected to return a few days later, but never did. When his friends went to the campsite to check on him, they found all his belongings missing. Young's truck was parked on Highway 1 south of the campground, and the white kayak he had brought with him was gone. The kayak was later found on Sand Dollar Beach along with 4 oars. An extensive search of the area turned up no sign of Randall, and his case remains unsolved. Number 5. Bill Owasco. 65-year-old Bill Owasco vanished into the Joshua Tree National Park back on June 24, 2010. He had originally planned to only do day hikes in the area and return at the end of each day's hike. Before leaving, he gave his wife a schedule of the day hikes he was planning to do and told her that he would keep in contact with her. When Owasco failed to call her the next day, she contacted authorities in the area. Searches were initiated, and his car was eventually found at the Juniper Flats Backcountry Registration Board parking area trailhead for an apparent hike towards Quail Mountain. This was not the area he had originally planned to hike on his first day, and neither his wife or the searchers are sure why he changed what he had given her on the schedule. The last confirmed contact with Owasco was 3 days after the search was launched. A ping from his cell phone was recorded that showed the phone was about 10 miles away from a cell phone tower in Yucca Valley. There was only the one tower in the area, so they were not able to pinpoint the exact location of the phone, but extensive searches of all areas about 10 miles from the tower were conducted to no avail. About 100 search and rescue personnel, along with volunteers from Joshua Tree National Park, Riverside County, and the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Offices participated in the intensive searches. Scent dogs were also deployed along with helicopters and searchers on horseback, but no trace of Owasco was ever found. Number 4. Jacob Oliveri. On August 24, 2011, 23-year-old Texas resident Jacob Oliveri drove his 1998 Isuzu truck to the Pine Glades Lake trailhead in the Everglades National Park for a small hike. Video surveillance showed him entering the park, but never leaving. Jacob's family filed a missing persons report when he failed to return home. A search team of more than 45 park rangers and police officers was conducted, and after a couple of days, the search intensified, with additional canine units and helicopters which combed through the thousands of acres of the park. But after several days, the search was called off. Jacob's father said his son had been working as a mechanic at a shop in Conroe, Texas. His father added that he was a good kid who was always optimistic about his future. Jacob loved the outdoors, and it was not like him to simply vanish or run away without contacting his loved ones first. Several additional searches have taken place in the past 3 years, but no sign of Jacob has ever been found, and he remains missing. Number 3. Gilbert Mark Gilman. 47-year-old Gilbert Mark Gilman was last seen on June 24, 2006, in Thurston County, Washington. He went for a day hike in Olympic National Park, carrying a camera but no backpack. He was supposed to meet a co-worker that day, but missed the appointment. Gilbert's co-worker reported him missing on June 25, 2006. Gilbert's silver 2005 Ford Thunderbird convertible was found at Staircase Ranger Station off State Route 101 in the Olympic National Park a few days after his disappearance. Authorities believe the car had been there since the day he was last seen. Olympic National Park has extremely rugged terrain with dense forest and steep, rocky hills. At the time of his disappearance, Gilbert was in good health and had good survival skills from his military training. Gilbert was also, at the time of his disappearance, the deputy director of the Washington State Pension Fund. He formerly worked as a military interrogator and took assignments in counterterrorism and counterintelligence. He had also worked with the United Nations and was very active in politics. He had traveled to many places around the world, including Belgium, the United Kingdom, China, Panama, Israel, Kuwait, Somalia, and Iraq. He moved to Washington from New York shortly before his disappearance. Gilbert's mother believes he may have decided to become a spy for the United States government and disappeared as a result. However, there is no evidence to support this theory. Searchers spent 10 days looking for any clue of Gilbert in the staircase area. They used tracking dogs, helicopters, and a plane equipped with heat-seeking equipment, along with 62 searchers on the ground. There have been a number of disappearances in the staircase hiking area, all of which, including Gilbert's, remain unsolved. Number 2. Justin Richardson. 13-year-old Justin Richardson was last seen in Kaibab National Forest in Arizona on June 29, 2001. Justin, along with 3 friends who were all between the ages of 18 and 21, had gone into an area a few miles south of Grand Canyon National Park and 5 miles west of Moqui Lodge, which has since been torn down. It's believed that Justin and his friends were under the influence the day he went missing. Justin and his 3 friends got separated, and 2 of them got lost. Justin and another friend went to Tusayan, Arizona, and asked another friend to help look for the missing pair. In the meantime, the 2 missing ones were located by Grand Canyon Railway employees south of Tusayan, Arizona, but Justin didn't know this. Justin and another of his friends returned to the Kaibab National Forest at a spot 5 miles from Tusayan and 15 miles from where their friends had been found some time earlier. His companion went to sleep at 9 a.m., and when he woke up at 5 p.m., Justin was gone. Justin had been to the area 4 times before he disappeared and was very familiar with the area. He'd never gotten lost before. Authorities aren't sure whether he did, in fact, lose track of his surroundings. He had run away from home once before, and it's possible he tried to do so again and was picked up hitchhiking by a passing motorist. An extensive search and rescue operation took place, but no sign of Justin was ever found. We have included the age progression picture of what Justin could look like today. Number 1. Carl Landers. 69-year-old experienced climber, runner, and hiker Carl Landers was last seen on May 22, 1999. Carl disappeared on Mount Shasta while hiking with friends. The group of friends were camping at a location called 50/50, a place on the mountain where climbers can stop and rest before reaching the summit. According to his friends, Carl complained of feeling poorly and left ahead of them to get a head start toward Lake Helen. When Carl's friends arrived at Lake Helen, they asked a ranger if he had seen anyone passing through on his way to the mountain. The ranger replied that he had only seen one person. At this point, Carl's friends believed the ranger saw Carl, so they tried to catch up to that person, but subsequently discovered the person they were in pursuit of was way too fast to be Carl. In addition, the person was wearing different clothes than what Carl was last seen wearing. At this point, Carl's friends headed back to 50/50 in hopes that Carl would be there. But when they arrived, Carl was nowhere to be found. Carl's friends reported him missing, but search and rescue would not start until the next morning on May 23, 1999. The Siskiyou County Sheriff's Department immediately set out on a search with the National Guard covering the air using infrared helicopter, and the U.S. Rangers volunteered to cover the ground on foot and skis, but no trace of Carl was ever found. The area from which Carl disappeared is a very large open area. There would be no way for him to have left the area without being noticed. So where did he go? What happened to all his gear? This case is very bizarre, if not for the simple fact that there was nowhere for him to go, yet he simply vanished. Well, friends, there you have it. 10 more unsolved national park disappearances. If you have a case you would like us to see featured, please email us at disappearanceof@gmail.com. Also, don't forget to like and share this video. There might be someone out there that holds the key to solving one or more of these cases. Finally, we'd like to remind everyone to please be respectful when leaving comments below. There are still family members out there searching for answers that have happened across these videos. So please treat these cases and your responses as if you were discussing someone who is close to you. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.